Joining us now is Congressman Adam Schiff. He's the ranking Democratic member of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. I should tell you he's also a Hillary Clinton supporter. Congressman, it's really nice to have you with us tonight. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Rachel.
So you are a person who's deeply involved in matters of national security in terms of policy and in terms of thinking about it as your responsibility as a member of Congress. Does your thinking about this presidential race track with the way Hillary Clinton painted the contrast with Donald Trump today in this big speech?
Absolutely, and I think you're right, Rachel. This was one of the most powerful speeches that the Secretary has given yet, because she uses Donald Trump's own words, so the American people can understand with all that catalog of horrors that has come out of his mouth just what we're talking about. He is probably a believer in the power of relentless insults and ignorance. That ought to be the subject of his new book. But just looking at some of the positions that he has taken that are antithetical to our interests, and of course, chief among them, a ban on Muslims coming into the country, even though we are deeply dependent on our Muslim allies, our Gulf allies in the war on terror, suggesting that we would be benefited by a nuclear arms race in the Middle East or another one in Asia, praising Putin, praising Tiananmen Square. I mean, it is just unthinkable, and it had so much more power because these were in Trump's own words. And I'll tell you a couple of things that really resonated, if I can. One was the word unfit. Because I've struggled for a description of just how unsuited the man is for the office. And that, I think, is exactly the right word. Unfit temperamentally, unfit for lack of experience, unfit with lack of judgment. There is just no way to entrust that man with the leadership of the free world. And when Secretary Clinton talked about how those Navy SEALs brought the women and children to safety, and that how that itself was the very appearance of honor, I thought to myself as she was speaking those words, that is the appearance of presidential. I was very proud of what she had to say, and it was a very striking contrast.
Congressman, we saw Secretary Clinton today make reference to how Mr. Trump has talked about North Korea, the threat of North Korea, the way he's talked about our ally, South Korea. Simultaneously, right now, we've got 3 Republican senators, including Joni Ernst, who herself is an Iraq war veteran, who are in South Korea right now. And the media reports we have from those Republican senators being in South Korea are that they're doing media interviews over there telling the South Koreans that Donald Trump doesn't mean it, that he won't be able to do the things that he says he's going to do, that he's not going to meet with Kim Jong-un, that he's not going to make South Korea pay for what he says he's going to make them pay for in terms of spending more money to keep U.S. troops in South Korea. Are we at risk, without knowing whether or not he's going to be elected, are we at risk of damaging some of our closest alliances just with what he's proposed, whether or not he's going to win this election?
Oh, absolutely. He's already done significant damage, certainly done damage, as I mentioned earlier, with our Muslim allies, the Muslim countries that we're trying to work together in this war on terror, but also really rattled our allies like South Korea. That is now wondering whether it needs to question the American commitment to the security of South Korea. It has certainly rattled all of our NATO allies for Trump to talk so glibly about, well, we don't need NATO anymore. NATO is really a relic. You can imagine how the Baltic countries, threatened by Russia, watching Russia invade its neighbors, must feel when it hears those kind of sentiments. It's already damaging to the country and causing profound questions among our allies. When I travel in my intelligence capacity and meet with the leaders of our sister agencies around the world, they have profound questions about the campaign, about is this real? Is America really moving in this direction? All of this is antithetical to our interests.
Congressman Adam Schiff, the ranking member of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Thank you, sir, for being with us tonight. I know you're busy, especially with everything going on in California right now. Thanks for being with us.